Welcome back to another reaction, this time for Oshi no Ko Season 3, Episode 2. We saw Ichigo Saito being back in the story and seemingly working together with Ruby. Also, the beginning musical part of the last episode was seemingly not the opening, so we will see. Definitely interesting to see how it evolves.
連れてますか斉藤一吾さん。
ち、また来たのか。俺はもう社長でも何でもねえんだ。
いいじゃん。娘のように思ってた愛の娘がこうして会いに来てくれて。本当は嬉しいでしょ？のように思ってた愛の娘がこうして会いに来てくれて。本当は嬉しいでしょ？
俺に関わるなって言ってるんだ。
逃がしませんよ。
That is very ominous.
だってママの一番近くにいたあなたが一番真相に近いんだから。ママを殺した男を見つけ出すまで絶対に逃がしたりしないから。私の父親が誰なのか教えて。
何度も言うが俺は知らねえ。
She feels a lot more dangerous than Aqua ever did. I feel like she could at any point pull out her own knife.
知ってたら特にぶっ殺しに行ってるっつうの。
じゃあママと関わりがあった人の連絡先全部教えて。
嫌なこった。そんなの教えたら無鉄砲に会いに行くだろうが。
Fair enough.
当時ペーペーだった奴らも16年も経てばお偉いさんになってる。そいつら相手にお前も16年も経てばお偉いさんになってる。そいつら相手
No one else them looked like potential dads.
にお前が問題を起こしたら迷惑被るのは誰だ？今のイチゴプロを支えてるのは都だろうが。
私だってそこそこ売れてきてるんだけど。
地下アイドルに毛が生えた程度だろうが。お前じゃまだ酒飲んでるところ取られたとしても週刊誌だって相手にしない。
Ooh. Ooh. So she wants to make a name for herself so she has the reach to find her dad. And he's telling her, in the grand scheme, you are no one. No one knows you. You are irrelevant at the moment. Which stings quite a bit, I assume. Also, Aqua had the phone, and it took like years to decipher the pin. And did he ever share the information he got there with anyone?
じゃあもっと売れたら紹介してくれる？向こうから会いたいって言いたくなるほど売れたら会わせてくれるんだね。言ったね。約束だから。
The question is, does he even have the reach? Sure, he knows them probably from, he can probably be like, yo, 10 years ago I did you a favor, maybe. But at the moment he seems like a fisherman. I don't feel like he has the reach at the moment.
じゃあどうやったら売れるか教えて。
そこは自分で考えろよ。この間もそうやって。
そうそう、いちごさんの言う通りにしたらリポーターの仕事も取れたんだよ。
深掘れワンチャンのか？やったじゃねえか。あの番組は業界視聴率がいい。
That is pretty funny. He's like, use your own hand, and then, oh, I use your idea. Oh yeah, you did. Oh, perfect. And he's already going off. He's showing he never left. This is more or less where he shines, promoting people, knowing what to do. And he is now being caught again. He's now waffling around. Now, two potential things. He could catch himself and be a little bit more down, or Ruby can now string him along, ask what she should do now, and he's going to just tell her.
うまく刺されば次の仕事にも。だよ。
私ね、芸能事務所の社長だったイチゴさんの手腕は信用してるんだよ。
I mean, he did successfully raise I to be very, very well known. Naturally, talent does play a role. She worked a lot. But Ruby seems to be willing to do the same, so... And he has skills that seemingly Miyako does not have. Or maybe she is looking in a different direction. Could also be maybe she's more on the online aspect focused like Mem is. And he is the more traditional, you see him with his card, building connections, doing all that. It could also be a simple part of, that female managers are not seen as important, or they are unable to get these connections like the male ones, because it probably is still a very male dominated industry in the higher echelons. It could be that, as much as it sucks to say. Could just be that Miyako is female and that is why she is unable to build that network.
1階のアイドルグループをドーム目前まで導いたのはやっぱりママだけの力じゃなかったと思うから。教えて、売れるためにはどうすればいいの？
まずは現場で結果を残さなきゃ話は始まらねえ。番組でお前自身のキャラクターを。
Is that a second episode with her?
本日は生中継でお送りします。イエーイ。
例えばアクアを見てみろ。
もういいって俺の妹出すの。
Oh, it's multiple times already. Okay.
こいつの顔見るの家で十分ですって。
あいつは毒舌クールというキャラを前に出している。誰かがトンチンカンのことを言った時、話を振ればバッサリ切ってくれる。それを周りが認知していれば必ずパスが回ってくる。キャラクターが明確であること、これがバラエティにおける最重要項目だ。
私のキャラクター。
Yeah. What type of character do you want to be? I don't believe you are going to be the calculating type. You feel more like the little bit, empty-headed, cutesy character type.
可愛くて頭が良くて気遣い。
Clever. Cute, sure. Considerate.
できることかな。
バカで失礼でずぶといところだろう。
Yeah. Stay cute.
もっとそれを前面に出せ。身振りや手振りや話し方をバカっぽくしろ。全力で道化を演じるんだ。
That is a pretty good idea. Everyone, you can get everyone to underestimate you, so...
そのために
Surveys they do can play a big role. What do you believe the show needs most right now? Tell us more. Oh. Performer survey. Do you do that? I assumed, okay, sure, for viewers, yeah. But people on the show.
には事前アンケートも重要だ。
I would have guessed that they do a survey as well.
ここで当たり障りのないことを書いたら終わり。多少盛るくらいは構わない。強烈なバカエピソードを持ってこい。
ルビーはしっかりしてそうやけど、最近失敗したこととかある？
来た。失敗？そんなの全然ないですけど。あ、こないだ家が火事になりかけちゃって。
なんで？
友達が石鹸作りにハマってるって聞いて、私もやりたいなって思ったんです。そんでハンドソープを鍋で焼いたんですよ。
言ってることやばいやん。
そしたらめちゃくちゃ焦げて、警報器がビービーって部屋中煙まみれで。
そりゃそうなるやろ。なんでそんなことしたん？
ハンドソープってなんか石鹸を水で溶かした感じでしょ。 水分飛ばせば石鹸になると思って。
さてはおバカやな。
私？
お前それ昔鍋に油と詰め替え用の洗剤間違えて入れた話だろ。話盛りすぎてもはや別物じゃねえか。
アホなんか。
違いますから。こういう時アクアの毒舌キャラなら。
I'm assuming he's not going to rectify that story. He's just going to go along with the
お兄
punches.
ちゃんも私のことバカだと思ってるの？
思ってるに決まってるだろ。お前と同じ遺伝子持ってる事実が結構きつい。
Yeah. Yeah. Far too calculating.
やっぱり要点を抑えすぎている。誰かが入れ知恵している。
なるほど。ルビーちゃんはああいうキャラができるのか。
I mean, playing this character on, the show, fine. But I feel like you also need to play the character offset. To lull everyone around you as well. Just to be, to have something in the backhand. Should something arise. She wants to find her dad. Seemingly, and maybe play a little bit dumb so they underestimate you.
もっとキャラを生かした企画も提案できるけど。
そして
もっとキャラを
重要な要素がもう一つ。AD には優しくしろ。そいつはそのうちディレクターになる。売れるには加算も必要だ。
He's done. He's gone.
吉住さん、今日も暑いですね。吉住さん、お茶どうぞ。吉住さんって休みの日何してるんですか？
最近ルビーちゃんが僕にこびこびだ。なぜテレビ初心者の新人アイドルが AD の僕にこびる理由なんて。もしかして僕の
I mean, to be honest, if I were in his shoes, I would have the same thought. I mean, the other one would be just, to be in my good graces for some reason. I don't know. Maybe so I put it in a good word for the director? But still, a little hope.
顔がタイプなのかな。この少し影のあるインモラルな
What? Yeah, no.
顔が。
吉住さん、ちゃんと寝てます？いつも疲れた顔してて心配。
そうかな。
AD さんって暇があれば椅子並べて寝てるって本当ですか？
いや、まあ昔はそういうイメージであってたけど、近年は
In the news days, you can't even sleep anymore.
普通の会社と同じで残業すると人事に怒られるし、コンプライアンスも厳しくなってるよ。
へえ。全然そうは見えないですけどね。
ほら、まあうちの班はちょっと古いタイプの業界人というか。
吉住、レポ動画のテロップてっぺんまでに上げろって言ったろ。
さっきアップしました。
遅えんだよ。編集すんのは俺なんだぞ。
すみません。
あと絶対に取材拒否の飲食店に取材してみたのアポどうなってる？
全部断られました。
バカ野郎、そこをどうにかするのが腕の見せ所なんだろうが。仕事できないならやめちまえ。お前みたいなのが周りの足を
I'm assuming this is the director. Pretty stupid way to do this in front of, someone who could potentially, because he should be in the same boat as Ruby, where he's like, okay, he has made his name, potentially. And future actors, he probably should have on his good side. even if they don't turn out to be stars in the future. We had this in the last 2 seasons where it's like quid pro quo. You give them a chance, they're on your good side, so you can call them in later. You never know who's going to make it big, so better safe than sorry. This is not a really good look, in my opinion.
パって迷惑かけてんだ。わかったのかおい。
すみません。
ああ、それ制作会社の漆原 D だな。
制作会社？
局の制作班だけじゃ人手が足りないから外部の会社のスタッフも番組制作に携わることが多いんだ。漆原はそこのディレクターだ。
ディレクターって偉いの？
お前は本当に何も知らないな。
I mean, she's dumb. You heard, right? I do wonder if he ever asked Ruby how she is doing all this. Why?
こういうバラエティはだいたい4班くらいに分かれて番組を作る。
Four teams.
プロデ
Okay. A variety show staff responsibility: writers pitch ideas, write scripts. Researcher do background research, mostly interns. Okay. Creative director manages overall creative for the show. Producer, person in charge, manages budgets, QC's final product. Assistant handles casting and provides miscellaneous support. Unit director produce and edit episodes they are in charge of. Chief assistant director managed schedule. Assistant director Aaron Boyce. Okay. So assistant director is our gloomy boy. Then we have the unit director, which is potentially the guy we had. And the unit director is responsible for their episode. Okay. They have as the right-hand man the assistant director. Okay. Then we have the producer. He manages a budget. He decides who the unit directors are and so on, I guess. Producer and assistant producer. Okay. So assistant producer handles the people on board, and the producer then decides who's having which episode, how much money they get, and signs everything with his stamp of approval. Creative director just does the overall idea. Okay. It feels like the higher you go, the less work people have. And it feels like this is like we have a structure: director, creative director, producer, assistant producer, unit director. And then on the side, we have the writer and researcher separate. They don't really feel like they are in the same hierarchy.
プロデューサーや演出家の下にいくつかの班があって、D は班のリーダーって感じ。AD はその補佐だな。
へえ、毎回同じチームで作ってるん
You were on the show a couple times already. You never checked who was on your team?
だと思ってた。
漆原 D はもともとキー局の社員だったんだけど、いろいろ問題を起こしてクビになって、今の
So he has a big ego, I guess. Okay.
制作会社に移ったらしい。
ああ、
現に漆原班は AD が一人休養中で、一人だけで回してるって聞いた。
そうなんだ。
Ah, normally there would be two. Okay. Understandable is that stuff doesn't work out because he has to do the job of two people and the director's not going to help.
お前が現場のこと気にするとは意外だな。どういう心境の変化だ？
Now we are getting to the question.
私もプロとしての自覚が芽生えただけだよ。喜ばしいことでしょ、お兄ちゃん。
それもそうか。
Aqua is not stupid. He was shown as pretty smart.
AD の仕事はたった一つ。やれと言われたことは
Yeah, pretty simple. You just do everything. Okay.
全部やること。ロケ場所探し、ネタや取材対象のリサーチ。野獣
Was the research not done by a researcher?
間に頭を下げてカメラマンの真似事したり D の手
Are you done with the first cut? Decided to go with the previous version, reverted. What do you mean? I thought you were the one that had to edit the stuff.
伝い押し付けられたりエキストラの手配、ロケ弁の手配、移動手段の手配、書類コピー、コーヒー入れ、荷物持ち。言われたらトイレ掃除だってやる。家に帰っても秘密の残業。若者のテレビ離れが叫ばれる昨今、番組予算は全盛期の半分以下になり、人手は減ったのに3本撮り4本撮りは当たり前になって。
吉住、次の深掘りコーナーの企画が決まったぞ。コスプレイヤーの取材だ。
ああ、そろそろ夏コミですしね。
ほら、今やたらやってるアニメ、東京グレー、クローンだったか？
Oh. Yeah, Tokyo Blade. Because I was like, oh, Tokyo Grey, oh, Tokyo Good. No. Tokyo Blade, because it got an anime, we had the theater, in which Ruby did not take part in, but Aqua did.
東京ブレイドですか？
それそれ、レイヤー集めてそのコスさせりゃ絵的にも映えるだろう。
版権は大丈夫ですか？こっち都合でコスプレさせるなら多分許可取らなきゃ問題。
Ooh. I do. This is one part that I really like about Oshinoko, is the whole behind the scenes. We get to see he has to do everything. He gets commandeered around, and it makes sense that whenever he gets to be a director, he potentially does the same to the assistant director, because then he's in power and stuff. This is how this always gets propagated. But we see some behind the scenes. Okay, we want to show some cosplayers for, Tokyo Blade. Oh, what about, permission, and we need copyright and what else? Which, you would probably not think about until you are part of a bigger
い
corporation.
けそうな。
ああ、アニメ部署の方には俺から言っ
X to doubt, he's not doing anything. I don't see him doing much work at all.
ておく。アニメチャンネルでも放送してるし、も
This also big X. It is never fine, because this is a big problem. He's now like, okay, I'm gonna deal with it. I'm gonna get the permission. You can already start. You can already do like 30, 40 hours of work. And then after I get the permission, we can start. Or if I don't get the permissions, all the work is wasted.
問題ないだろ
あ、じゃあ取材可能なコスプレイヤーをリサーチしておきます。
う。一応言っとくが、普通のコスプレイヤーじゃ話にならねえからな。ネット番組の強みを生かせよ。素人のレイヤーに作品愛なんざ語られたって何も面白くねえからな。
I mean, first off, you are like ancient. You have no idea. I feel like there are a good amount of people who would love to see this, because, it's a pretty, I don't know how famous Tokyo Blade is, but if you see people cosplay that, you probably want to hear a little bit why they want to cosplay that character. Show a little bit of that love for the franchise.
ネットで
We do know someone, but can't really show
金
us
さ
too
ら
much
してサブ
skin.
スクで稼いでるやつとか、自主制作 DVD 売って儲けてるやつとか、過激なトーク引き出せそうなのを捕まえてこい。コスプレイヤーなんて承認欲求強いやつらだらけだろ。宣伝にもなるんだし、Twitter で DM 送れば10人くらいすぐ集まる。
10人。
申し訳ありません。今回の夏コミはブル様の合わせをする予定で、トーブレの衣装を着る予定がなく。
私たちのサークルはあくまで個人活動の範疇でコスプレ活動を行っており、
Okay.
会人メンバーの中にはテレビ撮影に拒否反応をし
This I feel like is probably even one of the major parts of cosplaying. Because cosplays, especially high quality ones, very expensive, a lot of work. And they do it, as a hobby while working full time. And, especially Japan, if you are seen cosplaying a character, show a little bit too much skin, then HR comes in and is like, oh, this looks bad for our company, you lose your job. You can't really, you can't afford that. So probably don't want to appear on major television.
示す子も多く
うちは加工中なので実物が別物なんですわら。なので今回は見送らせてください。あせあせ。
That is a crazy way to say that. I feel like they would not say that. I feel like they would be like, nah, I'm not interested.
すぐ集まるとか冗談じゃない。コス界隈はテレビに好意的じゃない人が多いんだよ。
I can see that, especially with how people want to, display hobbies like cosplay. I mean, I don't know how that is in Japan, but I know that in more Western areas, if there's a major TV network, you can be sure that they are not interviewing you to showcase how good cosplay is, but they're going to frame it in somewhat of a negative way. Maybe not so much today, but 5 years ago, definitely.
夏コミは来週。今日もろくに寝れそうにないな。
So I'm going to assume this is Ruby, who's now going to help out because she knows a couple people. Maybe pink hair girl is the only one I can really think about that would be willing to show skin, but I don't know.
暗い
Well,
顔。どうしたの？また大変な仕事を押し付けられた？私が力になれることある？
now, why is Ruby here? I don't understand this. Before it would be like, okay, she's, part of the episode and maybe, but now he's like, okay, I need to do research, I need to do stuff, and Ruby's here. It feels like she's stalking him. Just to find every little bit of, where she can hook herself into. He's not the only assistant director, there are a bunch of them. Or is it that they were filming another episode and now, he's doing research on the side while Ruby is having a break?
いやルビーちゃんってコスプレやってたりしない？
I mean, even if I don't believe she is selling pictures online and the director wanted to have something spicy somehow.
傘持ってくればよかった。
Not what I envisioned we would jump to, but sure. I guess Aqua.
アクアくん。何？迎えに来てくれたの？
いや、まあ雨だし、現場俺の家から近いって聞いてたし、たまたまな。
へえ、
んだよ。
別に。いかさー。
おい、茜の分の傘も持ってきてるって。
いらない。
たく。
私は知ってる。
At least she's happy. Isn't that nice?
アクアくんがカナちゃんに惹かれてたこと。
So much for happy. I mean, at least she's happy enough.
多分ずっと前から気づいてた。 かなちゃんじゃなくて私と付き合うことにした理由は、多分あんまり気持ちのいいものじゃないだろうから考えないようにしてるし、実のところあまり興味がない。
Fair enough.
アクアくんは私にすごく優しくしてくれてるから、それでいい。いつも気にかけてくれるし、 LINE も既読放置なんてしない。雨の日はこうして傘を持って迎えに来てくれる。いい彼氏をしてくれている。私としてはそれが満たされていれば必要十分。これ以上望むのは罰当たりというものだ。かなちゃんとはもうずっと会っていなくて連絡も立ってるらしい。ちょっとやりすぎだし、過剰に意識しすぎな気がして少しムムムってなるけど、アクアくんなりに自分の気持ちと折り合いをつけるプロセスなのだと考えれば納得もできる。私とまっすぐ向き合おうとしてくれるのがちゃんと伝わってくるから納得できる。
明日仕事何時から？
However, they are seemingly not. So she just said she's okay with the status quo. He is, a good boyfriend and all the things that he's willing to do. And she doesn't want to push it further because it could end up in something she doesn't want. As an example, he could break it off if she pushes too hard. Interesting. Now, it is understandable that she knows more of his feelings because she's very good at, understanding people. It's a little bit sad, though, to be with someone and that someone likes, he likes someone else. I feel like this is not going to end up well.
9時に府中のスタジオ。
そっか、結構早いな。今日は風呂入って早く寝ろよ。
ありがとう、アクアくん。
じゃ。
番組から始まった偽物の恋人。嘘つきなアクアくんが私に嘘をつかないために頑張ってる。私はそれを嬉しく思う。少しずつ嘘を真実に。私はそういうの嫌いじゃないから。けど他の女と浮気したら絶対殺す。アクアくんが女好きのたらしなのは分かってるんだからね。ちゃんと見張ってるんだからね。
I guess he had a cold, he felt a cold stare on his back. All these girls pretty crazy. Be careful.
うちがコスプレイヤーとして？
Of all the girls, I would assume she would be the one to be asked. The only one that does show some skin for her work.
次の深ワンでレイヤー取材会やるんだけど、取材交渉あまりうまくいってないみたいで、番組に興味あるって前言ってたし、どうかなって。
あんなそら雑誌でちょっとはコスプレっぽいことをするはするけど、うちはあくまでグラビアモデルであってな、イベントとかでコスしたことないし、それをコスプレイヤーって放送するのはちょっと嘘っぽくならへん？
嘘っぽいか。そうかもね。でもテレビの仕事だよ。もったいなくない？みなみはキャラも立ってるし、テレビ映えすると思うんだよね。深ワンは構成作家が豪華らしくてさ、業界視聴率すごく高いんだって。
I mean, it's true that is a good opportunity, and if you work with the writing team, you could probably spin it in a good way. Instead of being like, talking about or interviewing cosplayers itself, you can showcase a little bit of a cosplay. You can turn it into, we brought some people on to try cosplay for the first time. Huh? That is an idea. Cosplay for the first time. Something like that. Never before seen. Ruby, as example.
うまくいけば次につながるかもしれないよ。
それは確かにな。
Now, on the other hand, she is pressuring her.
もちろん無理にとは言わないよ。私もコスプレリポーターとして現場にいるし、みなみと一緒にお仕事したいなって思ってるだけ。
ちょっとマネさんに相談してみる。
Okay.
確かに最近グラビアばっかで仕事が横に伸びてなかったし、渡りに船みたいな話ではあるんやけど、コスプレ界隈は権利者の黙認の上に成り立つデリケートな世界。
That depends on rights holders. Oh. For some reason, I read right shoulder. Rights holders turning blind eye. Yeah. True. However, I mean, it's Japan. Japan has a very different idea about copyright. I would say if you cosplay as a character, you are never 100% a character. So it's, I would assume, pretty hard to get you for copyright infringement because you didn't really. Maybe, I don't know. It has to be pretty good copyright cosplay, I feel like, for infringement.
ローカルルールやマナーに厳しい。
Got a lot of community rules. No pairing shots. No low angle shots. Okay. No street photography. Plug gun muzzles. Okay. Understandable. No unedited photos. Okay. No long props. I feel like I have seen people with long swords and stuff. Maybe Japan only. Skin colored tights required. Okay. So not bare legs. Okay. No uploading to social media. You mean the people that take the photos? They are not allowed to upload without consent, I assume. Okay. A pairing shot, I don't know what that really means. Maybe you can't have two cosplayers together without... I feel like a lot of this is if you don't have permission.
ちょっと対策しないと焦げ臭そうやな。ルビーはこういう嘘っぽい企画一番嫌ってると思ってたんやけど、汚い大人の世界に染まり始めちゃったんかな。
Too late. I mean, Dirty Business World changed her whole childhood, but you know. Thank you so much for getting in touch. However, I don't have a Tokyo cosplay ready. This is one of the big problems. It would be easier if you were to supply the costume, which costs a lot of money. But then you would probably find more cosplayers willing to, you know, cosplay for you.
またお断りメール。どこかに面白い子。
兄ちゃん、タイプ C の
Who's that? New
ケ
character?
ーブルない？できればサンダーボルト企画のやつ。
ああ、何に使うの？
3D モデルを VR で動かせるかテストしたくて。
Hmm.
え？
I guess a VTuber?
ミミ、ちょっと相談が。
What? You're not asking your sister.
無理テレビは無理。ミミタクコス勢だし加工すごいし。
頼むって。お前コスアカも結構フォロワー多いし。
I feel like that is a bad idea. Very bad idea. You know your director. He sucks. And I feel like she doesn't want to be... The whole point of a virtual character is that you have your privacy and some other niceties you don't need to deal with a virtual character. But one big part is privacy. I don't feel like she wants to be associated with her virtual character so that he gets harassed.
もう納得すると思うんだよ。
そもそもミミの仕事なんだと思ってるの？絶対声でバレちゃうから。
吉住ミミ、俺の妹はコスプレイヤー兼 VTuber。
Oh, she's both. Okay.
VTuber とは 3DCG モデルやライブ 2D 等の技術を用い、トラッキングで動きを同期させたアバターで配信料を行うもの全体を指す言葉。大手運営の時価総額は2000億超えをマーク。
Yeah, that's true. It is a growing industry.
メタバース市場の中でも注目を集め、一見すれば華々しい業界に見えるが、ムーブメントは成熟期を迎え、現在 VTuber の総数は1万超え。明らかに飽和したマーケットだ。
300K.
ミミの VTuber 名は鈴音小耳。登録者30万。引きこもり。
What are you doing? So she has two characters. She has her VTuber character, and then she has a cosplay
で
character.
コスプレ配信に夢中になっていた妹の将来が不安になり、
I would also be worried. Oh, what a bro.
当時流行り始めた VTuber になることを僕が勧めた。それから3年間、僕がマネージメントを担当して毎日のようにゲーム
I like that we have OBS in the background. Very nice. I'm assuming this is like VTube Studio or whatever.
実況に勤しんでいるけれど、知ってるぞ、お前まだ。
Hmm. I would feel so weird bringing my sister there, especially because the director was. It's not, hey, let's showcase cosplay. It's like, oh, let's show cosplay with people that show more skin and stuff like
コ
that.
スプレアカウント稼働してて、時々タクコス画像をアップしてるだろう。
なんで知ってるの？
兄として当然のことだ。剣のコスもしてたよな。散々俺の悪い。兄として当然のことだ。剣のコス。
That is really solid. I mean, it's an anime naturally, but that is very solid.
もしてたよな。散々俺の悪口書いてくれているが、番組に出てくれるなら一切を
Why are you telling her?
不問とする。
卑怯な。どう？レイヤーの子集まった？
いや、まあなんとか。
That is the answer of no, not even close.
寿みなみさんも事務所から OK もらえたし、なんとか形になりそうだよ。
そうならよかった。当日私どんなコスするの？
あ、遠ブレの脇役の子なんだけど。
すごいね。許可取り大変だったんじゃない？
そうなのかも。
Oh, I know. Oh, So, okay, we have Minami, we have his sister, we have Ruby. Luckily, Ruby's there. She is hopefully going to more or less punch the director. I feel like it's going to end up. What is going to happen? He's going to the director. He's going, oh, I have some cosplayers. How does it look like with the permission? And the director is going to tell him, you were supposed to get the permission. That is what he's going to tell him.
でもその担当は僕じゃなくて。
お兄ちゃんが言ってたけど、東京ブレイドって許可取るのすごく大変なんだって。原作のアビコ先生がすごく気難しくて、大抵そういうの編集さんが断っちゃうんだって。
へえ、そうなんだ。
Yeah, please keep your eye on the road. I feel like I wouldn't trust you with a car somehow. I don't know why.
一応確認取っておくか。明日コスプレ。
Okay. Maya, someone else. Okay. Or is that his sister? Everyone has a different way to portray their whatever cover. No, it's not a cover letter. They're you know.
プレイヤー取材を受けてくれた子のリストです。
おお。
Is Maya your sister? That's not your sister.
コスプレイヤー取材を受けてくれた子のリストです。
おお。この子かわいいな。ああ、クレアの事務所の子ね。どりで胸もでかいよ。この子もいいな。吉住、お前と同じ名
Oh, it is.
字。
それで
Mhm.
一応最終確認なんですけど、明日は東京ブレイドのコスプレで。
Tomorrow. Wow, okay. That doesn't look good.
いいんですよね。
いや、わからん。ちょっと待て。
Oh, he did not instantly give him the fault. Okay. Fair enough. I feel like the director, this is the director's job. He should not only the permission, but tomorrow is the shoot. He never once asked him, hey, how is it looking for cosplayers? Because now, if something doesn't work, it's a little bit late to change.
漆原です。突然すみません。先日お話しした東京ブレイドの許諾なんですが。はい。あ、そうですか。わかりました。はい、大丈夫です。
Yeah, that is a no.
じゃあ。ああ、やっぱダメだな。
Yeah. Are we cosplaying something else?
ちょっと話が違いますよ。レイヤーの子たちにはトーブレのコスでお願いしてるんですよ。
違うやつやってもらえばいいだろ。
そんな急に。
You do know if they cosplay something else, you need permission for that.
てか俺言ったよな。許諾取るけど一応。
And I told you I would ask for permission, but you to have a backup plan. That is your job. Quite literally your job to plan this. You had the plan. Let's do cosplay for Tokyo Blade. And now he has to plan.
代わりのも用意しとけって。
絶対言ってない。
とにかく取材する奴らに連絡しろ。当日はオリジナルか許諾フリーか、微妙にちょっとトブレじゃない感じにしてくれってな。
Now, here's the... This is not the first time this happened. I am an asshole. I would just burn everything down. I would just tell all the cosplayers, thank you very much for your time. Seems like we are unable to do this. I'm very, very sorry. I would cancel all of them. I would even cancel Ruby and would not even appear. I would be done.
何それ。
Especially if I dragged my sister in it. No.
今更すぎない？
でもやるしかないんだ。今方々に謝罪しまくってるけどさ。ルビーちゃんの衣装どうしよ
う。今から新しいの作るなんて無理だからね。
でもタレントさんに下手なの着せられないし。
ああ、もう一応フリーサイズのコスもあるから使って。その子身長いくつ？
ごめん、助かる。
He's lucky that he has his sister, you know, who can help. Is this his sister? Really? No, right? Doesn't feel like his sister. I mean, Ruby, okay. Calculate. Ending visuals.